Board of the Parks and Recreation Commissioners of Kansas City, Missouri meeting for February 27th, 2024 is hereby called to order. Will Secretary Houston please call roll?
Commissioner Durant.
Here.
Commissioner DePriest Taylor.
Present.
Commissioner Contreras.
Here.
President Hayden.
Here.
And Commissioner Smith is absent. Director Cotton.
Here.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the February 13th, 2024 board minutes. Do any of my fellow board members have any changes or comments to this item? All right.
No.
Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, this item is passed. The second item on the agenda is resolution number 32426, considering board approval in support of the Kansas City Zoo Lion Kopi, thank you, project. Director Cotton is the sponsor of the memo, and I see that we have Sean here from the zoo. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, everybody. Good to see you all again. Look forward to hosting you at the zoo in a couple weeks. But before then, we are getting to the point in our lion Kopi, and there's no corrections for the chair. This is something that we continue to make improvements at the zoo. It started off with a $2 million money from the city Go bonds, where we'll be correcting ADA deficiencies in the walkway there and inside the lion viewing area. On top of that, my presentation will show a few other items that will be building upon that. The zoo will be adding $3 to $4 million on top of that. We aren't quite done with our design, but we're getting closer. So as per our contract with the city, we are in front of you to ask your permission to go ahead with this project. If you're unfamiliar with it, or it's been a while since you've been at the zoo, this is the area that we're talking about. That yellow circle down there, it's in our African section where our lions are at, a little closer view. That big red line is the pathway that we're talking about redoing. Right now, it's showing its age. It was built back in 1995, and we've already repaved almost the entire section of Africa to not only improve the walking across it, but also for ADA improvements as well. That big green space in the middle is the lion exhibit, just to give you some idea. The black roof there is the outside lion viewing, and the white roof just to the left of the red line is our lion inside viewing right now. So in 2012, this comes about because of the 2012 Piper review, which had city review. All city properties were reviewed for ADA standards, and we had a lot of red dots at the zoo. And this particular area, every time the zoo does a project, we ensure that we are fixing any existing ADA issues. But realistically, because it's city property, the city had some onus there too. So the $2 million from the city is what started us off. And I already talked about the $3 to $4 million that the zoo's adding on. The bottom right-hand corner really shows the wear and tear of that area. It's not just about the wear and tear, though. You can see how it grades to the right there, and it's pretty flat for most of us who are walking it, but for somebody who's in a wheelchair, it would be a different story. It's also very compact there, about 6.5 feet across at the smallest, so really tough to get people through there on busy days. This is what it looks like now. The plans for it, that red line, or the two red lines, indicate what the pathway needs to do in order to widen it to 10 feet wide. This is what it will look like when it's completed. In addition to the walkway, you'll see at the top left-hand corner, those are some bathrooms. Currently, that's the last place on the zoo grounds that has porta potties. So we're really looking forward to that. And it's at the very bottom, which is also right now ADA deficient. It's too much of a slope to get to the porta potty. So making permanent facilities will be great for our guests. That in the middle there, that's the lion viewing, which again has a lot of deficiencies right now ADA-wise. So that will be expanded and make sure that it's easily able to be gone through with a wheelchair. This is another close-up look of the inside lion viewing. You can see the pathways there, which will allow for easy access with wheelchairs. These are not our final renditions. Just wanted to give you an idea what the outside could look like. And then this is the pathway leading up to lions. That area on the right is a new caracal exhibit. Again, that's on the zoo's dime. Just beside that are just to the left of that are the bathrooms. This is kind of a plan of the caracal exhibit and the bathrooms off to the right as well. Again, another look at the bathrooms. Entryway to the lion exhibit. One more thing that we'll be doing, again, this is on the zoo's dime, is creating some better spaces for the animals. Right now we have two smaller exhibits that are at the end, and we're planning on joining those together so it makes for a better experience and probably allow us to add some different animals in there as well. So that is it in a nutshell. I appreciate the time. Obviously there are any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
I have a question from Commissioner Smith, who wasn't able to be here today. The paperwork we got included some like art installations as part of it, and I think she was interested in, is that something you guys will be working with the Municipal Art Commission on, or how will that work?
Well, we can. We've just started looking at it right now. We've looked at some bronze lions. It's early on yet. We don't even have the money facts back from the architects yet, so we would like to beautify that area with some lion statues, real life size statues. That's the direction we're going right now.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? All right, with that, can I have a motion to approve Resolution 32426?
Motion approved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, items passed. Thanks, John.
Thank you. I have one more thing before I go. I know you're coming in 2 weeks. I thought we'd give out some up-to-date informational packets that you can
Thank you.
see what we're all doing for the city, for our education system, et cetera.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
so much. See you soon. All right. Next item is to recognize the outstanding individual contributions and collective impact of the KC Parks Ambassadors. Kelly Turner is here to speak for us.
This is such an honor. I love being able to bring the joy to these meetings. I know you discuss a lot of heavy stuff in these meetings, but today we just get to acknowledge and recognize the wonderful people who commit to volunteering for our park system out of the goodness of their hearts. So today I want to first give you an update on, or just familiarize you with what we do and why we do it, a little bit about how we do it, and then we want to recognize some individuals and the group as a whole. The KC Parks Ambassadors commit to volunteering once a month or more in the parks. That could be a boulevard, a parkway, adopted area. It's really up to them. We also host huge events that they plug into that really fulfill the needs of our maintenance teams. This is a program that started in 2020 during the pandemic. It was a perfect time to start a volunteer program because people needed to get out and needed some purpose when they were feeling kind of isolated. Many of the ambassadors who are here today have been with us since the very beginning. Our goal is really to take people who are a little bit frustrated with some of these issues that they see in the parks and turn that into opportunity, and an opportunity to build community and work together to solve some of the issues that we find in our parks, whether that is litter, invasive honeysuckle, whatever it may be. We are proud of the very collaborative and inclusive community that we've built throughout our network of volunteers. I've never been more proud of a group of volunteers that I've worked with. It is very difficult work, and they do it with so much joy and enthusiasm. And our hope is that through some of this volunteer work, we're also helping to activate some of our shared spaces in ways that simply make them safer, cleaner, and just more enjoyable for everyone else. The reason that we have our volunteers is pretty simple. We have too much parkland to ever possibly maintain with the staff that we have. Parks belong to everybody. They're not the department's sole responsibility to care for. We all should be stewards of our shared spaces. And our ambassadors really help us with that. A lot of times in the volunteer world, volunteer management world, people refer to volunteerism as voluntasking. And for someone like for a department like the Casey Parks Department, with so many assets that we have to manage, it's wonderful to have this core of volunteers who are trained and ready to go at any time. Because what they're able to do is they're able to focus on massive projects of very large scale that our department just wouldn't be able to get to. And they, in turn, get great exercise, feel, I think, a lot of joy and purpose in the work that they do. And our staff, as a result, their morale is boosted. When our teams come out every day, imagine coming out to Swope Park every Monday and spending 6 hours picking up the litter that's been disposed of the night before. And it's like Groundhog Day as a South Maintenance staff member. You're going to do it. And you're going to do it almost every morning. And thanks to everyone for this, when the ambassadors come along, when volunteers come along and help, it really helps put a little bit more energy into our staff, because it can be such a thankless job sometimes. And so we're really grateful for all of the work that the ambassadors do to really just help boost the morale of our staff as well. So thank you for that. We do a lot more than pick up litter. There was another slide, but apparently when it moved over to this, it blasted apart. So I'm just going to read to you a few things that we do. Volunteers have done mulch spreading, graffiti removal, recycling and composting, invasive species removal, native flower planting and weeding, native seed gathering and spreading, native plant rescue and transplanting. We are part of some of the biggest events that the Parks Department puts on: Make Music Day, Kansas City's Lawn Party, Walktober, and the Ethnic Enrichment Festival is our newest opportunity, and we'll talk a bit about that in a second. How we do this, we have so many volunteers who have stepped up to do more than just be part of big events. We have weekly cleanups, some that have been going on for 4 years. Some of those site leaders are here right now. If you're one of the weekly cleanup site leaders, if you'll raise your hand, I'd really appreciate it. Because if you look at some of these, so Truce Lake Park, Paseo, Camp Lake of the Woods, and even Indian Mound, most of these leaders have 200 cleanups under their belts by now. And they've been dedicated, so consistent. I personally don't know how they do it, but I'm so grateful for everyone's willingness to do this. And by having them, they help us scale what we're able to do as a department. They're there on Saturday and Sunday mornings or Monday mornings at Paseo, and they're there ready to assist any volunteer who wants to pitch in and be part of the solution. So we're really grateful for them. We also have site stewards who are not necessarily weekly cleanup leaders, but they are people who, like Tracy pictured, who adopt an area in their own backyard. Literally, Briarcliff Trail is right behind her house. And whenever we need to plug in volunteers in a certain area, they're already trained and ready to help us manage those volunteers. Tracy came to us very upset with us. We were getting ready to pave a trail, finish the Briarcliff Trail behind our house, and by doing so, we were going to pave over a lot of native vegetation, some bluebells specifically. And she called us and said, "Can we please transplant them? I will lead the effort." She is a horticulturalist. So she became an ambassador, got trained up, and now leads honeysuckle removal and native plant projects behind her house regularly. Also, Ron Robertson has been working diligently on his own in his backyard helping remove honeysuckle. Cliff Drive, that's been going on for a couple of years. Will is not here, but Mark Frazier, he's also started working on an area behind his house. Apparently it's a great thing to do once you're retired, to remove honeysuckle. It can be so cathartic though, and the rewards are wonderful. So we're really grateful for that. There are several more, but I'm trying to keep this quick, everyone, and I promise we'll give you all your praises soon. In your board packet, you should have a case study of the project that we all, collectively, all of the ambassadors worked on last year. It was a massive project, and Sarah, our volunteer coordinator, Sarah Becker, she had to do the majority of the leading down there. I started off the project at the beginning of the year. It went from February until the end of December, but we accomplished our goal to remove 6 acres of honeysuckle by hand, and it involved more than 500 volunteers and 1,500 volunteer hours. It's a really important, back to the voluntasking statement earlier, this is a really good example of how volunteers can get in and do very quality work by meticulously cutting and treating each of these stumps and by staying on these projects for multiple years. The problem with honeysuckle removal, you can go in and you can remove it once. If you don't treat it, it's going to come back with a vengeance. Even if you do treat it, it's still probably going to come back, and it probably needs one more pass. And so we're committed on any project that we start, we're going to finish it. And so we are into this long-term now. We're into phase 2 of the long-term management plan for this particular project. And we're really excited to keep that one moving forward. Anyone who was involved in that, please raise your hand, because that was a very difficult project and is so impressive. Besides that project, we also had last year, the Ethnic Enrichment Festival traditionally has not composted any of the food waste that it creates. And so we had the opportunity to say, hey, we can help a little bit here. We can bring in some volunteers. We'll manage as much of the food waste as possible. And we had another volunteer who was willing to haul all of the food waste off to his farm, where it has now composted, and we've gotten to see the end result, and it's beautiful. So 2.5 tons. By the end of this operation, which was supposed to be, we'll get as much as we can, we ended up having almost a full-scale composting operation happening thanks to all of the volunteers and Sarah, who vomited and passed out in the back of her car at the end of the day because it was 120 degrees out that day. And it was just, but it was such joy. Everybody had such a great time doing it. So we're coming back. It's now the standard for the Ethnic Enrichment Commission to be composting this food waste that otherwise would have gone to the landfill. And I won't do a lesson on compost and why it's so important, but trust me, it's very, very important. So collectively, this team helped us lead 319 projects last year. And move 3,297 volunteers through our parks just to beautify and improve our parks. That value to our department is nearly $250,000, and I feel like this is a very small number because when you look at just the time that it would have taken, the resources, the materials that weren't required, that's, I think, a conservative estimate on the value of the volunteer service. The other great thing is that we instituted glass recycling into our cleanups. Previously, all trash went to the same place. Our ambassadors each received a purple bag from Ripple that they take with them now, and as a result, we have recycled several tons of glass that historically have just been going to the trash. And so because each volunteer said, you know what, I'm willing to take this bag and dump it on my way home, tons of glass have been recycled. So kudos to everyone. Thank you for that. The ripple effect that this team has created is amazing. They get thanks wherever they are. They inspire other people to get involved. And none of them like being here right now. They don't like the recognition. They do it because there's a problem, they want to solve it, they want to take care of it. And they are, I was telling Johnny earlier today, Don't measure your success based on how much less trash there is at Troost Lake, but measure your success based on how many people saw you being a steward of that space, how many people have seen you show up 4 years, Saturday after Saturday, to do it because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. And then you've gotten to see the benefit. You've gotten to see the improvement in the water quality. It's still a long haul, and we're never going to change people's habits overnight, but you are setting the example for what can be done and what every community member should do. So thank you all for that. All right, individuals, we're going to recognize a few people. Most people couldn't make it. They're still trying to get out of work. But for those who are here, we want to recognize them. Our top glass recycler, who also is top everything and quite literally saved my life. I wish he could be here, so I want to recognize Christopher Lawrence. He usually leads an Indian mound cleanup. He's an amazing human. Julia Daly. Where's Julia? Julia, if you want to step up there and get your award, we're going to ask you all to stay there so we can get a photo of you real quick before we leave. But Julia not only recycles the glass, she also leads a cleanup down at Camp Lake of the Woods in Swope Park every Sunday. And sometimes Julia's the only person who shows up for that, and it doesn't stop her. She continues to press on, so we're grateful for her. Jenny Fenton. Jenny recycled 373 pounds of glass. Jenny she's like our whatever you need her to be. She shows up wherever there's a need. She is there. She's not committed to one location, and she has helped with Troost Lake Park. She's helped with Gillum Park. She helps anywhere there's a need, so thank you, Jenny. We also want to recognize some outstanding first-year ambassadors who just came onto the scene last year and blew us away, and we're on track to serve 50 hours or more. Ron, who I mentioned before, Ron Robertson, thank you so much. Come on up and get your award. He clears honeysuckle by himself at the Dave Mecklenburg Trailhead most days, and is willing to help us anytime we need his help. Did Nasaya make it? I don't think so. Okay. Nasaya Cartwright, is she here? She's literally coming in the door. Nasaya Cartwright is a college student who, thanks to some of our Paseo team leaders, has found a nice home in volunteering with us regularly. And she used to just do Paseo, and now she's everywhere. Nasaya, we just mentioned your name. Go ahead and grab your award. Thank you so much for all you do. You can stay up there because we're going to make you take a photo too. And talk about someone who doesn't want the attention, but we so appreciate you coming and being a part of this. Okay, so these volunteers have shown up, gone so far above and beyond. I don't know how they do it. These are the hours they reported. But all of them, if you think about what that means, they've volunteered pretty much every single week for the Parks Department. I'm going to start with Dana. Dana, this is your second year being one of our top ambassadors. Dana has 51 hours. Please come up and get your award as well. And I think Dana, like many of our ambassadors, do this to stay young. It's a great thing in retirement to hack the honeysuckle and pick up the trash. There's nothing that she can't do. Ron Robertson, again, thank you. Congratulations on being one of our top ambassadors. Mark Frazier, also one of our top ambassadors. You have to go get your award. Mark, who did you work for in your career?
Army Corps of Engineers.
Army Corps of Engineers. So you can imagine he teaches us all a lot about every site we're at, and we appreciate that. Alice White. Alice could not be more annoyed with people littering, but that doesn't stop her from going back to Paseo every Monday and still cleaning up the litter, not understanding why it continues to happen. Let's see. Robin couldn't make it. Julia, thank you. Julia almost made it to 100 hours. Thank you for your service. Aaron DeWitt cleared the 100 mark, but he's not here. Christopher Lawrence also still in work. Nancy Simons. Where's Nancy?
Other side.
Nancy, I am sure you have like 1 million hours, but also another person who doesn't report her hours. And when I reached out to her and said, Nancy, I'm putting together this list. Can you tell me your hours? Then she told me her hours, and I was like, oh, you're number one now. And then I reached out to Ms. Jackson, Ms. Elise Jackson, and realized, wait, both of you are killing it. So Ms. Jackson, more than 300 hours, and I can tell you pretty much everyone in the city knows Ms. Jackson's name. They know when her call comes, that it's something that matters. And thank you for also being such a great mentor to all of our volunteers. For those who don't know, Ms. Jackson has been cleaning Meyer Boulevard. It used to be Swope Parkway and 63rd Street. For about 45 years? 43? Ms. Jackson was a high school teacher at Southeast High School for how many years?
27 years.
And
Wow.
you taught chemistry?
Wow.
So way ahead of her time. And we are in the 30-day countdown to Ms. Jackson's 91st birthday. So if you would like to stay young, pick up litter. That's the lesson. And Ms. Jackson is so fun to go out and pick up litter with because you might want to help Ms. Jackson, but she doesn't want your help. So you can go and try to grab something for her, but she's somehow going to tackle you and get it before you ever get to it. It's amazing. And we all use our litter grabbers, and she doesn't need one. I also want to recognize Johnny Lee, who also doesn't enter his hours. Just come on up anyway. Johnny Lee, we are so grateful for Johnny. He has been a volunteer since the very beginning. He is also oftentimes just a facilitator, a moderator, a peacemaker for us in places where we go. And when people badger him and say, "What are you doing, man? We pay the city to do this stuff. What are you doing?" He always sticks up for what's right and lets them know, we pay the city. And he will tell you that we pay the city to empty our trash cans, not to pick up the litter that you're throwing out on the ground. So stop doing that and we'll stop coming, is what he says. So thank you, Johnny. And Johnny also used to be a volunteer, well, he used to work for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. And he's been a great tour guide for us. So if anybody wants to squeeze in one of the free visits this month, that's your tour guide there. I would highly recommend going. Also got to meet Buck O'Neill, and last year was recognized with the Buck O'Neill Legacy Seat at Kauffman Stadium. So last but not least, I want to just point out that Aaron DeWitt, who could not be here, and Ms. Jackson have both invested more than 500 hours in our Parks Department. And I do believe Nancy would also be on that list if I had any idea of her record. But Nancy, we appreciate your work at Blue Valley Park and for never, ever giving up and for always bringing so much joy to us. You give so much and somehow thank us for things all the time. And so we appreciate you. And commissioners, you're the ultimate ambassadors. You're the ultimate volunteers. We know this is a lot of work for you as well. We know you can appreciate what volunteerism means and probably more than you ever imagined. So thank you for your service to the department as well. If you ever want to join any of the ambassadors out at a cleanup or Earth Day, we will be out April 19th through the 21st, actually 22nd, which is actual Earth Day. So Friday through Monday, we'll have about 30 cleanups around the city. You're welcome to join us. I think Chris is going to lead one of those cleanups somewhere, TBD. I might have just gotten in trouble, but I'll do it. But if you want to join us, we would love to have you just come out and see what everyone does. But thank you all so much. Any questions?
Well, first, is this on? Can you all hear me? First, just want to say thank you all so much for your service. Kelly, you talked about purpose when you first started speaking, and the greatest definition of purpose that I've heard is the gifts that you have, using the gifts that you have to meet a need in the community that you live in. And there's no greater gift than you all utilizing your time, your passion, your leadership, and just caring. And so thank you for utilizing your gifts to impact and serve community. Thank you. Just wanted to say that.
Would you care to join in the photo with them, everyone?
Let's do it.
Everyone find your window. Ms. Jackson, let's put you in the front.
Yes, come on, Miss Jackson.
Still got to take
And then when we finish, we'll all go down the other wall and we'll get our...
little more. Okay, you guys can come in a little bit over here, on the other side of that. Oh, perfect.
Do we need to do the sorority hand?
Yeah, sorority girl squat. Smile. Smile again, keep smiling. On 3, say, Ambassador. Huh?
Ambassador.
KC Parks. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. For the time. Thank you for the time.
Celebrate Monday now.
Congratulations.
Yes, there's okay. Okay, so I've been texting, trying to get it going. Yeah, no, you're, yeah. No, you're not.
That was awesome.
I know.
Miss Jackson putting in hours. Putting us all to shame.
91, holy smokes. Well, hard to go back to business after that. That was great. The next item on the agenda is resolution number 32427, considering board approval of facility use with concession agreement with, we were just hearing about it, the Ethnic Enrichment Commission for the use of Swope Park for the annual Ethnic Festival.
Hi,
Welcome.
Commissioners, how are you all?
Great to see you. Thanks for coming.
I think you have a little reminder flyer in front of you to save the date, so that you'll put it on your calendar. We hope you will come, certainly on Saturday at 4 o'clock. That's our parade of flags, and that's when we like to introduce all of the folks that need to be introduced. So we'd love to have you there. We're asking for a 5-year contract. It's a repeat of what we've done before. And gosh, if none of you, if any of you don't know about the festival, I don't know where to start. We're getting ready for our 45th year, so
Amazing.
I could probably take the rest of the afternoon, tomorrow, the next day, but no, let's not do that. I hope that you will look on this favorably. It's a great family festival, and in spite of last year's heat, nobody quit, which is a good thing.
All right. Any questions about this item? Well, then I'll take a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, it is passed. We'll see you in August.
Thank you, and we'll look for you then.
All right, next item on the agenda is resolution number 32428, considering board approval of an agreement with the United States Tennis Association, Missouri Valley, to operate the Plaza's Tennis Center from February 27th, 2024 through the end of the year. Doug Schroeder's here.
Hello, everyone. This is
Hello.
an agreement with the United States Tennis Association, Missouri Valley, to operate the facility for the rest of the year. As you know, our past tenant's no longer there, so we needed someone to come in and assist us to make sure that we provided tennis opportunities for the community, schools, leagues, universities. So Mary Bushman's here from the United States Tennis Association, and they were very happy to help us through this. They'll be taking care of operations, staffing, scheduling, and all of that. We're going to maintain the utilities, and they've agreed to a 40% share of the net profits with us, which will help support the utilities and stuff. So we're going to get this college. I think college and high school all started yesterday as far as practice. Yeah, so same, and golf for women's golf also started. So it's a busy time of the year, so we're looking forward to getting this back up and running.
Just a really quick question. United States Tennis Association, what kind of statistics will they be providing at the end of services that they've provided, programming? Are you all asking for any of that at the end of December?
We asked at the end of December for a report,
Okay.
and in that report, it will have that kind of statistics, the statistics you're looking for, as well as all of the financial information.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the agreement.
We'll do that more often if you like, than wait.
Sure.
I'm happy to give you any reporting. We're very excited.
Does the association operate any other tennis centers in the area?
We typically do not because we cover a 5-state area, so we support all the providers. This was such a key integral part to our tennis community here in Kansas City. It was really appropriate that we step up and take this on so we can do a long-term plan, make sure the plaza's there for another 100 years.
Thank you.
But thank you.
We're grateful to Mary and her team because we didn't really have someone when the old tenant moved out to operate the facility. So they're helping us in a jam, and the colleges and the high schools that are using it too. And no one wants the Plaza Tennis Center sitting empty. So very excited to see activity there. So thank you. All right. Any other questions? I'll take a motion to approve.
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, it's passed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I gotta get started.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Next item on the agenda is resolution number 32429, considering board approval of a facility use without concessions agreement with KC Crew for the use of Penn Valley Park and Swope Park for the purpose of conducting adult softball, soccer, flag football, pickleball, and kickball leagues. Jennifer Jett is here to speak on this memo.
Thank you. So it is the time of year that you will see me quite often up here talking about facility use agreements, so we are kicking it off now. So Penn Valley Park is one of our locations that has a couple different partnerships. You'll see that coming up in the next couple of memos, but we've worked with KC Crew for several years now to provide rec leagues at Penn Valley and Swope Park, and then in the memo, it just outlines our revenue share. We anticipate charging $56,300 for their time at both of these locations from April 8th to November 1st. And then there's also a payment schedule that's attached to that.
Just one question. Are you familiar with any current activities that are taking place that might impact, so youth groups, nonprofit groups that might impact this? I know they have several sports. I'm familiar with KC Crew, and so I know they run on a weekly basis. Are there any other groups that may be impacted by them taking up so much usage?
No, we do have, you'll see we have two other groups that use the space, and then they coordinate the schedules together. Yep.
All right. Any other questions? I'll take a motion to approve.
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, this item's passed. Next item is resolution number 32430, concerning board approval of a facility use without concessions agreement with Stonewall Sports Kansas City for the use of Gillum Park to conduct adult kickball games.
Thank you. So a similar agreement. We've been partnered with Stonewall for about 3 or 4 years at Gillum Park. One really unique thing about Stonewall Sports is they're an LGBTQ plus organization, so they really provide a space for that community. So we really love working with them at the park. We were excited when they wanted to rent from us, and they will be charged a total of $8,400 between April 15th and September 15th, which is when their league runs, or their due date, sorry. And their league runs from March 20th to October 20th.
It's a great group.
Yes. All right. Have a motion to approve?
Move to approve?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, this item's passed. Next item is resolution number 32431, considering board approval of facility use without concessions agreement with Kansas City Kickball for the use of Penn Valley Park to conduct kickball games and leagues.
Thank you. So this will be one of the other groups sharing Penn Valley Park. It is a very sought-after park for activities. And so they will also be part of the revenue share, paying for lights in the evening, and their total payment will be $20,175 between April 3rd and November 15th, and their payment schedule is attached.
Questions? All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? This item's passed. Thank you
you.
so much.
Good night.
Have a good night. Okay, next item on the agenda is resolution number 32432, considering board approval to accept the proposal by the North Kansas City School District to purchase 36 acres in the northeast part of Hodge Park adjacent to Shoal Creek Parkway in the amount of $525,000. And I'll turn it over to Deputy Director Allen.
All right. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Richard Allen. Under city charter, it requires any time that we decommission parkland, that we take it to the vote of the residents of Kansas City. We took it to the vote in August 6th, 2019. The voters approved the sale of the land for the purpose of a school in that area of the city up in Hodge Park. And then we've been working with North Kansas City. We had the land appraised, and then the final sale price was based off the land value, staff time, closing cost, and so I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Did you say the purpose is to build a school there?
The purpose is to build a K through 8 school. And then the school will have surrounding grounds where, residents, kids still use it like a neighborhood park,
That's good.
All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, it is passed. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is resolution number 32433, considering board approval of the Transportation Alternates Grant Award for the Blue River Trail Missouri Railroad Connector Project, which requires matching funds in the amount of $250,000, and James Wong is here.
All right, Commissioners, we're accepting a federal TAP grant for the Blue River Trail Martha Truman Connector. Trails are highly rated by our residents, and because we can use them with recreational or transportation opportunities. So this is the one that, we're getting $750 federal grant, and the local match will be $250, funded with Council District 6 PIKE funding, so there's no park operation money involved in the project. So we are essentially, with this project, we're building a bridge, going to span over Blue River. That bridge will connect to a Blue River Trail at Martha Truman to the trail system in Jackson County. It's down south. So with that, I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
All right, hearing no questions, can I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, this has passed. Mr. Wong, now we'll do the Blue River Martha Truman Connector Segment Project 2.
Commissioners, yeah, that's another grant. In fact, that's similar to the first one. The reason we in fact break into two projects because we're trying to get more federal money. So there's a cap for each TAP money. It's $750,000 is the maximum. So what we did is we broke in the project into two pieces so we can get $1.5 million total. So that's the connection piece from Blue River Trail to the trail system in Jackson County. So yeah.
Great, love that.
We're trying to, getting creative, so get more money.
Can I have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This item's passed. All right, final item on the agenda is resolution number 32435, supporting the creation of the Port Improvement District with Port KC overlaying Starlight Theater for the purpose of imposing a 1% sales and use tax. Director Cotton.
Yes, Starlight spoke of this at our last park board meeting. We went over there for the lunch, and Lindsay came again to the pre-board to discuss this. As mentioned, this does not impact our operating budget at all. So staff recommends board approval of resolution 32435.
Any questions?
No questions.
All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, this item's passed. I will now ask Director Cotton to give the director's update.
Yes, thank you. Prep work has begun for the 2024 pool season. Line Creek, Mary Williams, Neal Community Center, Bud, and Grove pools have all had projects started. Line Creek and Mary Williams Neal will be repainted before the season begins. Satchel Paige Stadium has had all locks replaced and further security measures put in place after the vandalism over the winter. Fountain preparation for the spring has started with lights and vandalism repair completed on Concourse, Women's Leadership, PAL, Freedom, Half, Seahorse, Seville, Mill Creek, Vietnam veterans, firefighters, and children's fountains. All kitchen equipment at the Garrison Community Center is being replaced via PIAC funding. District 2 staff and the park rangers inventoried all items recovered outside of Union Station after the unfortunate event at Union Station, set up an area in Washington Square Park, and spent 5 days working to return items to their owners. Unclaimed items have been returned to the D2 area, and they'll be held on to for a few more weeks. Dunbar Park and Riverfront Park both had police involvement in the last week. Park ranger staff assisted the recovery of a body in Riverfront Park. Both incidents are possible homicides. There's a large houseless camp at Penn Valley Park that the staff is making plans to clean up. This area has been the site of a camp before. Conservation Corps burned sections of Rocky Point Glade and Swope Park and Jerry Smith Park. This helps to contain the invasive honeysuckle growth. Staff is gearing up for mowing season, and service work is taking place on the mowers. Staff cleaned up from the Super Bowl parade. The Southeast Community Pool is scheduled for power washing and painting this week. Interior plumbing is currently underway, and staff participated in training for new equipment purchased specifically to aid in houseless camp cleanup. And that is my report. And Brad has the 2023 year in review.
Woo! You went over a lot for your report. Can I get a copy of that? I have some thoughts on some things. Sure,
absolutely.
Nothing major.
So thank you for this. I like seeing everything you guys, the staff did this year. There's a lot to be proud of, so, and a lot to look forward to in 2024, so. All right, we will now move into public hearing. We've had one community member who is signed in, and it is Ms. Gail Hill-Suber to talk about Bruce R. Watkins. Good to see you again.
Thank you. I need these. Mr. Director, Madam President, and the other commissioners. Ms. Stewart, Wilhelmina L. Stewart, I have informed you that she passed last week. But she was a very committed person for the Bruce Watkins Cultural Heritage Center and State Museum since its inception in 1989. She served as a cultural programmer for nearly 25 years under the leadership of Yvonne Wilson. After the death of Director Yvonne Wilson, Ms. Stewart was the interim director for the center. Because of her experience and commitment to the center, after the director was hired, she was asked to become a member of the board of the Friends of Bruce R. Watkins. She served diligently and faithfully. In 2015, Ms. Stewart was elected to be the president of the board of the Friends of Bruce R. Watkins. Lately, through her illness, Ms. Stewart continued to serve and attend meetings via a Zoom or conference call when her illness made it impossible for her to attend in person. She served with dignity and grace until her departure from this world on Friday, February 23rd. This notes 35 years of uninterrupted service to the Bruce Watkins Cultural Heritage Center and Museum. To honor the legacy of Ms. Stewart that she's left with us through her service and dedication, we, the board of the Friends of Bruce R. Watkins, want to name the Children's Gallery inside the center the Wilhelmina L. Stewart Children's Gallery. The State Parks Board has joined in approval to name the Children's Gallery after Ms. Stewart. Mr. Ollie Gates told me today, he set up the board, and he said that the board is entitled to do this. But today we ask Ports and Recreation Commissioners to unanimously join us in the renaming of the Children's Gallery in the Bruce Watkins Center to become the Wilhelmina L. Stewart Children's Gallery. We would like to make this announcement at her funeral. The final arrangements have not been made. It might be Saturday, or it might be Tuesday. We don't know yet. But as soon as I know, I'll let Carmen know, so she can let y'all know. So we're hoping you'll say yes.
Is that, I love the idea. I just, is that something that we actually need to vote on? And if so, it wasn't on the agenda. Like, can we just?
I need to review our naming policy. It's not our facility, it's the state's facility, and the state gave approval.
The state gave their approval today.
So-
But we want to do
Yeah.
do things in togetherness
Thank
and show unity. And when
So.
I announce it,
We can say, we support,
That's
you know,
all we
can we
need.
all go
Yes.
through and say, we support it? Yeah.
Thank you. So when I make the announcement,
Yeah.
it'll be with the unanimous agreement of the state of Missouri, the Parks and Recreation Commissioners, and the Friends of Bruce Watkins. Thank you very much.
What a lovely tribute. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we have anyone else here for a public meeting? Okay, and I have a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn?
You want to stay?
Say you got it, you made it all day. Clockwork.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Our next meeting's
Right.
March 19th at 5 o'clock.
I didn't even get to tell her thank you.